name is Rachel, and today I'm bringing you an announcement for the next round of the Golden Girls Readathon. So our next round is going to be running from June 4th to the 18th, and it's going to be our traditional summer showdown where we all pick our favorite girl, we log our pages read, and the team with the most pages at the end of the readathon is going to have their girl declared the winner. So we've had Rose win last year and Dorothy win the previous year. So let's see who is going to win this year. So if you'd like to participate, I'm going to leave a link down below to the website that's got everything you're going to need. It's got a link to the prompts, to the form that you'll use once the readathon starts to log your pages, and to the scoreboard so you can see how everything works. So if you need more information, stop by that website. You can also leave a comment on this video and I'd be happy to answer. One question I always get before I even get to the prompts, I'm going to say this: if you think it counts, it counts. If it's an audiobook, it counts. If it's a children's book, it counts. If it's kind of close to the prompt and you really want to read it for that prompt, it counts. This is just for fun. This is absolutely just for fun. So please pick what you think fits and what you are going to have the most fun with. So let's jump into the prompts. So again, this is going to be running from June 4th to the 18th. And in that time, you're going to read 5 challenges that are common to everybody. So all girls are going to read the same first 5 challenges, and then you're going to read your next 5 challenges based on which girl you read. So the common challenges for everybody. The first is to read a book that features a character that is 50 years or older. So obviously highlighting the older age of our Golden Girls crew. You're also going to read a book that was published or set in the 80s or 90s when our Golden Girls show was being aired on television. So something that's just giving you real 80s, 90s vibes, just like the show. 3 is to read a book that has the word girl or girls or whatever iteration of that you need to use in the title somewhere. Number 4 is to read a found family, because obviously the Golden Girls is a great example of found family. And number 5, the last one that's common to everybody, is to read a book that is written by a woman. So those 5 are common to everybody. Let's get into the other girls' challenges. So first we have Team Rose. Team Rose was the winner last year. So your 5 challenges for Team Rose is to read a work that has been translated. This is obviously an allusion to Rose using all these Swedish words that she's learned, and it's always so much fun to hear them. So some sort of translated work is your first challenge. Next, number 2 is a self-help book, because Rose works at a counseling center. Number 3 is to read a thick book, because if there's anybody that's very thick on the show, it's definitely Rose. So again, this is a prime example of what is thick is up for your interpretation. So whatever you think is a thick book. Number 4 is to read a book with an author whose name starts with a W, for Betty White. And then number 5 is to read a book that has discrimination as a theme, because one of the issues that Rose faces throughout the show is that she is experiencing age discrimination when she's looking for a job. So any type of discrimination as a theme that is being represented and discussed in a book is going to work for this challenge. So that's Team Rose. Next up is Team Blanche. Team Blanche has not won the Summer Showdown yet. So if you're Team Blanche, you need to step up your game and see if you can win this year. Her first challenge is a book from a series, because Blanche is kind of a serial dater. She always has a paperback book in her hands that seems like it would be from a series. So I thought this would be perfect for Blanche. So any book in a series. Number 2 is a book that features illustrations or photos within the book. It can be whatever type of book you want. It just has to have illustrations or photos. And this is because Blanche spends a lot of the show working at an art gallery museum situation. Next up is to read a romance. I feel like that's really obvious. That would be what Blanche would be reading, and I guarantee you that's what she's reading the whole time. And of all the ladies, she has quite a bit of romance going on in her life, very much like a romance novel. Number 4 is to read a book whose author starts with the letter M. This is an allusion to the lovely Rue McClanahan. And then last up for Team Blanche, you're reading a book by or featuring an LGBTQ plus character. And this is an allusion to Blanche's struggles becoming comfortable and accepting with her brother, who does come out as gay in the show. And she really struggles with it, but you can tell she loves her brother. So I think this would be a perfect category for her. Blanche needed some books that really supported LGBTQ plus characters. So that is her final challenge. If you are Team Dorothy, you guys won 2 years ago. So let's see if you can take the title back this year. Her first challenge is to read a book in poetry or verse, since Dorothy is a school teacher and she would definitely be reading poetry or verse. She actually does dabble in writing some poetry and a song in the show, so this will be a perfect challenge for Team Dorothy. Next up, we're going to do something that involves a school somehow. Again, this is an allusion to her working as a substitute teacher in the show. Next up, number 3 is an award winner, because I guarantee you Dorothy is up on all the books that are winning awards. That's what she's going to be reading. Number 4 is to read a book by an author whose name starts with an A. This is obviously for B. Arthur, the actress. And then number 5 is disability representation in some format. This is an allusion to when Dorothy experienced some difficulties when she was trying to get a diagnosis. I believe she was eventually diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome, but there is a full episode dealing with her not really being able to get the doctors to participate in her treatments because they just don't understand what's wrong with her. And I feel like this would be a perfect thing for Team Dorothy to read. I think this would be a great category for Dorothy to have read, because I think she would really have related to the struggles of living with a disability, especially one that some people don't consider real, even though it deals with chronic issues that you have to live with. So I think this would be a great challenge for Team Dorothy. And last but not least is Team Sophia. Team Sophia has come in last place for the past 2 years. So what I've decided to do to try to spice it up a little bit, from now on, whatever team is in the bottom gets a little head start the next year. So since Sophia was the 4th team placed last year, we are going to get a little head start this year. So if you are joining Team Sophia, you get to start reading and counting your pages on June 1st. So you get a 3-day head start towards your challenges. And this is just to really give everybody a chance. So whoever comes in 4th place this year, whoever is in the bottom scoring team is going to get the advantage again next summer. So hopefully it's not Team Sophia again next year. So if you're going to be on Team Sophia, use that advantage to your advantage and let's get our girl out of last place. But nonetheless, let's jump into her challenges. So first up is to read a book that is less than 200 pages, because Sophia is the shortest little girl and she's got a short temper as well. Number 2 is a book that contains a recipe, since Sophia is the one I associate most with her recipes and cooking and spending time in the kitchen. I thought this would be a perfect prompt for Team Sophia. This is another one that would be great to use your own interpretation of. Whatever you consider a recipe to be, if there's just cooking involved and you want to use it, that's fine. Make it work for you, girl. So contain a recipe. Number 3 is historical fiction, and this is purely based on her famous line of picture it, then naming a place and a date and telling us a fantastic story. So I want you to experience that on your own with the historical fiction book. Number 4 is to read a book by an author whose name starts with a G, for Estelle Getty, the actress. And then finally, to read a book by or featuring an immigrant. And this is obviously an allusion to Sophia herself being an immigrant from Italy and coming to the US. So there you have all of the challenges. There is one more advantage that you need to know about. So if you have been participating in the Golden Girls Readathon, and if you participated last year for our first round of the Murder Mystery version, then you might have earned a golden ticket. And if you earned a golden ticket, you also get a perk for this challenge. So if you earned your Golden Girls ticket last year during the Murder Mystery, you get 1 free prompt. So any of the 10 prompts that you'll need to read, you can take out the prompt that I have submitted to you and replace it with a book of your own choosing. So you get a free read essentially with your golden ticket. So definitely make use of that as well. So once again, just to quickly go through it, you're going to start reading on June 4th and read through the 18th, unless you're Team Sophia. If you're Team Sophia, you get to start on the 1st. And if you have a golden ticket, you can change any one of your prompts to a free read. And you're going to be reading 10 challenges, or at least as many as you can of the 10. I know it's always hard to complete readathons fully. I hardly ever do. But when you're planning out your TBR and you're looking at your 10 options, make sure that you do the 5 common challenges as well as the 5 for your specific girl. And then once June 4th actually rolls around and the readathon gets started, you're just going to log your books as you finish them in the form on the website that I have linked down below. So if you have any questions, concerns, comments, just general excitement, leave it down below. Let me know that you're excited to join me this summer, and I will see you in June. Bye for now.